walking around and patrolling the area. But again, no arrests for a while, not in this area.
All right, thank you very much for that, Galit. Let's throw it back to Stephanie Smythe now, who's standing at our breaking news desk. And Steph, just looking at these live shots right now, and as you can see, like you said, people wearing very little and certainly experiencing and have experienced quite a bit of rain.
We have on the phone right now someone who managed to get out of this jackpot. His name is Alexander Samuelson. Alexander, tell us what happened to you this afternoon at Queen and Spadina.
Well, basically, I was following everybody down to from Bay and King. We went up to Bay and Queen, and then across to Queen and Spadina. At that time, the police had pretty much barricaded the west side of Queen Street and south on Spadina. And everybody was just sitting there. A lot of people were just sitting down. Some people had some signs. And then a short time after that, the riot police came around, and then all the bike police left the scene. At that time, they were saying that if you wanted to get out now was the time. So then a whole bunch of people actually tried to go northbound. But by the time people were going northbound, myself included, the riot police are actually coming southbound from the north part of Spadina. They effectively just boxed us in.
Okay, so Alexander, you were in that for how long? How long were you boxed in the pouring rain?
Well, it was. I got out just before it started to rain, but they'd actually kept on enclosing on us, and it was absolutely insane.
So how did you get out of it?
Well, actually, I went to the side, and I was just talking to some of the riot police officers, and I was just trying to say, well, you know, is there any way that we can get out? And they said no. They said they're waiting for orders to see how they would deal with the situation. And at that time, I literally had a bit of a panic attack, and like I started to get tunnel vision, and my hands started to become numb. At that time, one of the medics said, you know, okay, I'm going to pull him out. They allowed me to sit there and breathe and just sort of calm down. At that time, they took my statement. They made sure that I was okay. Asked me if I wanted to go to the hospital. I said no. I think I should be fine. And an officer approached me, said that everybody was going to be arrested. I was going to be arrested, and that I was going to have to go to the detention center. And I was a little bit scared of that. At that time, actually, the medic reiterated and said, "Are you sure you don't want to go to the hospital?" And I quickly changed my mind, and he said, "Well, you're still going to be arrested." I said, "That's fine." Anyways, as they were about to bring us out, one of the commanders who was in charge of the operation, I would imagine, said the ambulance had already left. So then the commander took me by the arm, walked me south on Spadina, and said, and it's almost verbatim, said, "Okay, I'm going to let you go." Said, "You keep on walking south until you hit King. If you walk east, if you walk west, or you come back north, I'm going to call a team in, and we're going to put your face in the concrete." That's verbatim.
Okay, and that's when you were let go then?
And that's when I was let go, yes.
Okay, do you think things were out of control?
No, actually, at Queen and Spadina, there was absolutely nobody throwing rocks. They weren't hitting the police. It was totally nonviolent. And,
do you think police are out of control?
I think that was abuse of power. I mean, they should have just let people go. There's only about 100, 150, maybe 200 people there.
Yeah, we can see now some are being put on buses. They're being processed, but there's a girl in the crowd with a tank top on. We were watching. She's just been ushered away, and now we see her about to be boarded on a TTC bus. Looks like she's wearing a dress, a tank top dress, and has been standing in the rain now for at least 2.5 hours. So some are getting out of that crowd, but the rest remain. Alexander Samuelson, consider yourself lucky for getting out of that situation. Thank you for sharing your experience with us, and this situation continues to unfold. And we are hearing that people in the area are being told that police are seeing this as an embarrassment to them. They are not impressed themselves with what's going on, and this situation is also very talked about topic on Twitter right now. Here are some tweets. Insanity in downtown Toronto. People are enclosed at Queen and Spadina by police. No, not giving details regarding why they are being detained. Another one says, check out CP24, Queen and Spadina. Ordinary folks detained in rain for 5 hours, boxed in by security, shameful. And then another says CP24 doesn't like the way people at Queen and Spadina are treated. We didn't like our windows smashed. So this is a big topic of discussion on the Twitterverse. And Nathan Downer is live in that area right now at Queen and Spadina. Nathan, are you seeing any change in Operation Corral right now at Queen and Spadina?
A few things I see. First off, you mentioned, Sam mentioned those TTC buses. I see them on the north side of where I am. I'm on the south side of Queen, near Spadina, closer to Richmond. A few things have changed. Richmond looks like it is reopened because cars are coming through. Adelaide looks like it has reopened as well. Cars are coming through. I'm seeing less police officers in this area that I saw earlier, but that doesn't necessarily mean they've left the area. Sometimes they redeploy. They were getting some snacks a little earlier, and that's not unusual when they're out working. They do get relief from time to time to ensure that, they're able to continue to do their job. Now, in terms of, you were mentioning, Stephanie, the number of people that were not commenting. Well, I did have one police officer who spoke to me just off the record, and I said, hey, what's going on right now? And he says, the wagons are coming. And I said, well, what about the people? What's going to happen to them? And he said, if they're in custody, they're going in a wagon. And those are his exact words. So several people in custody. It looks like dozens of them just standing in the rain. And you see police officers standing next to them with their plastic bags, all of their possessions in those plastic bags. I was seeing people getting frisked, and what I'm seeing from time to time, people just slowly being led from the line into one of the court services vehicles. It's almost like watching people standing in line waiting to get into a nightclub. Finally, they're led into the club, and the wait is very long. And that's what it almost appears like. The line is pretty quiet. In fact, I see many people in the line moving right now, moving toward the buses. So what that might mean is that people are going to be moving out of here maybe faster than we had originally expected with the buses now here. So I'm just seeing people now en masse walking toward the buses. It's about a block away from where I'm standing. I can see some in the plastic handcuffs. I see the plastic bags. I see police as they're being led toward the buses. So this might mean, Stephanie, that we're coming close to the end of this ordeal. And, of course, after this, all the questions will have to be answered as to what happened and why it took so long.
Yeah, this is an unbelievable scene, Nathan, but I might comment that the people that are being ushered away right now are all in handcuffs. They're in the plastic handcuffs. They are being moved into the bus and shipped to the detention center, or at least the processing center, down on Eastern Avenue. There are still about 150 to 200 people just standing in the pouring rain, corralled by the riot squad, for no reason, no handcuffs, just standing there, not being given any water, not allowed to take bathroom breaks, not being told anything, not being given any explanation, not being asked any questions, just simply being held in a downpour. And you can see them shivering in the pouring rain. It is cold out right now. In fact, this is probably, I would suspect, the biggest public arrest caught on camera, the biggest public detention ever caught on camera, and nobody in the city of Toronto wants to talk about it, except for poor Sammy in the crowd and a few others. And now what we're going to do is bring in Craig Kielberger, our special correspondent who is at the G20 Detention Center.